Ooh, that was that one. Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock on February 27th. I'd like to call this regular scheduled board meeting to order. As you can tell, Ms. Rucker is not here tonight. She is down with some serious back problems right now, so I'm sure she's online now watching us live, but we wish her well and we pray for the best for her to get back and come back and join us. But last month, if you remember, I talked about little Johnny that went through an orphanage, and he gained support and love from a family. And that's where I related to a school district. And what he gained through a family is what we try to strive for here. Because I can tell you, if you love and support these kids, you'll gain one thing that's so important. It's hard to gain, but easy to lose. And it was talked about during the meeting, Miss Lundy stood up here and she said that Dr. McDonald asked her, do you trust your staff? Trust. That's one thing we want to build on here. And so I want to turn it around and ask you, does your staff and students trust you? Trust is a two-way road here that we need to work on and strive to gain. Because one thing, if you gain a child's love and he knows that you're there to support him, you're going to get that trust. And the education part becomes easy. So, we work hard to get our report cards up and make sure everybody's doing the right thing. But if you gain somebody's trust and they know that you love them, they're going to do all they can to make sure it's a success. So tonight we got two students here, and I know they've gained love and support for all the accomplishments and honors that they got here on this list. They got it through trust and love. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wooten to introduce them.
Thank you, Mr. Key. We're delighted to have two students from Airport High School with us tonight. We have Hannah Beckham and Joshua Nix. Hannah will be doing the invocation, and Joshua will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Hannah Beckham is a senior at Airport High School with a GPA of 4.5 and currently ranked 25th in her class. She has been a student athlete playing volleyball since the 7th grade and has worked hard to maintain her grades and athletic performance. She has also taken all 4 courses of health science at the Lex II Innovation Center and will be getting her CNA soon. Through her time at Airport and being a volleyball player, she has volunteered to help at some Lexington II elementary schools' Special Olympics and field days. Club travel volleyball has been a huge part of Hannah's life for the past 7 years, and last year was her final season. Hannah was so thankful for her opportunity to speak at the district convocation on behalf of the Innovation Center this past August. Hannah is enrolled in 2 dual enrollment programs in partnership with Midlands Technical College. This has given her the chance to push herself and work hard for her final semester of high school. This fall, Hannah will be attending the University of South Carolina to pursue a degree in nursing. Go Gamecocks! Josh Nix is a senior at Airport High School with a GPA of 5.378. I just asked him, how can you have a GPA? And explained it to me quite in detail. He is currently ranked 4th in his class. During his high school years, he has participated in student government, swim team, beta club, and attended many FCA events. Josh has done some community work with serving the elderly and assisting the student ministry at his church. During his freshman year, he participated in the Mr. Eagle event to help raise money for Camp Chemo. Josh has earned quite a few honors and awards, such as being on the principal's list every year of high school. While on the swim team, He earned All-Region twice and attended the state swim meet all 4 years. He also placed in the top 10 of his events his junior and senior years. Josh plans to attend the University of South Carolina and major in mechanical engineering while hoping to possibly finish a master's degree by the end of his 4-year term. Go Gamecocks again. So Hannah and Josh, if y'all will still please step to the podium.
Hope everyone's doing well. I'm Hannah Beckham, and I'm really honored to be given the opportunity to invite the Lord into this meeting tonight. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the safety, security, and happiness of every student, teacher, staff, and board member. We pray that you will guide our board today and help them make the right decisions. Father, we pray for the continuous opportunities you've given this district for success, and we are hopeful for many more. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Room, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all two drew a crowd here tonight. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. And we're going to make a motion to the agenda and the minutes of January 16th, 2025, the regular meeting. The Board of Trustees meeting on January 25th, board workshop, and February 3rd, 25. That was a special call meeting. With no objections, the consent agenda stands approved as presented. Okay, moving along. Next one will be the honors and accomplishments, and I'm going to turn over to Dr. Hafner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Chair. February is Career and Technical Education Month, and we have CATE Director Stacy Baker and Innovation Center Director Joni Coleman here to introduce us to some of their students who've already achieved completer status and earned certifications in some of our Innovation Center programs. Come on up.
Good evening, Dr. Hafner, Mr. Chair, board members. Thank you so much for the opportunity to showcase just a few of our completers. There are many more, but we want to take a few minutes just to showcase a few of them. We're going to start first with Miss Elizabeth Pittman from Airport High School. Elizabeth is already an auto tech completer and will complete welding to make her a double completer. She's earned the OSHA 10 certification, the 504 multimeter certification, AWS certification. She has also earned her maintenance and light repair certifications in brakes, engine repair, and steering suspension. I'm going to let her tell you her future plans.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Pittman. I do have a very good problem thanks to the programs at Innovation Center. The two programs I chose, welding with Mr. Thompson and automotive tech with Mr. Thornton, who are both amazing instructors. And all they have led me to multiple options, which is very hard to choose just one. So as for right now, I cannot give you a specific answer, but I know no matter what I choose, with their guidance that I have received, and know I will be very successful in life.
Next from BC, Mr. Tanner Addy. Tanner is already a welding completer and will complete auto technology to make him a double completer. He has earned his OSHA 10 certification, AWS certification, ShopKey Pro Service and Repair Level 1 certification, and the Digital Multimeter 525 certification.
Hello, I'm Tanner. I'm planning right now to go to Midlands Technical College and attend their welding field and get a degree in their associate's degree in the welding field.
Next from Airport High School, Miss Bianca Bryant. Bianca is a double completer in health science and sports medicine. She's earned first aid, CPR, and AED certifications, basic life support certification, and stop the bleed certifications.
Okay, I wrote out a lot, but it seems like I should just summarize it. So, hi. I plan on becoming an EMT after graduation and continuing my education to become a paramedic.
Also from Airport High School, Miss Jada Johnson. Jada is also a health science completer. She has earned her first aid, CPR, and AED certification and her Stop the Bleed certification.
Hi, my name is Jada. I also wrote a lot, but I'm going to summarize it. So I plan to attend the University of South Carolina while I major in biology, and my ultimate goal is to attend PA school afterwards, where I can make a positive difference in people's lives. Thank you.
Next from Airport, Miss Maggie Wright. Maggie is a health science completer. She has earned her first aid, CPR, and AED certification, and also her Stop the Bleed certification.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm currently anxiously waiting an exception from the University of South Carolina, and I plan to major in nursing to eventually one day become a nurse anesthetist. I love helping people, and I feel like getting my head start into the medical field is the best way to do that for myself. I've also been able to maintain a 4.5 GPA, and now representing my school as the new crowned Miss Aquila.
And lastly, but certainly not least, Aiden Tardif from Airport High School. Aiden is an emergency and fire management firefighter completer and an electricity concentrator. He has hazmat awareness and operations certifications, South Carolina Fire Academy Fire 1 and 2 certifications, auto extrication certification, first aid, CPR, and AED certification, and FEMA active shooter certification. He is also a nationally certified firefighter, which means he can go to work in any state that he chooses to go to.
My name's Aiden. I'm seeking a job at Firehouse 13. I'm seeking a job at Firehouse 13 with my certifications in Effingham, Georgia. And that's really all I'm doing right now.
Also, we have a couple of our instructors here. Derek Thornton, our automotive tech instructor, is right here, and Chief David Carlson, our firefighting instructor, is here also. And our work-based learning, oh, Miss Cloud's over there too. She was right there.
Thank you for sharing that impressive group of students. Next, we have Airport's Orchestra Director, Colin Richardson, who is going to tell us about a prestigious honor for one of our student musicians.
Good evening. Tonight I want to share an incredible achievement by one of our students that speaks to the hard work and excellence within our orchestra programs. This year, Avery McCree has earned a spot in the All-State Orchestra by competing against the most talented musicians across South Carolina. Being accepted into this orchestra is a prestigious honor that represents the highest level of musical achievement in our state. This achievement reflects Avery's dedication, the highest quality of our music education, and the importance of the arts in developing a well-rounded, disciplined, and creative student. Opportunities like this are made possible through your support of our orchestra programs in our district. We thank you for your time this evening, and I would like to turn the microphone over to Avery so she can tell you more.
Also got to compete and win a scavenger hunt, and now I have a bag full of little tiny baby ducks. So that was my takeaway from the weekend. It was an amazing experience, and I hope to go again next year. Thank you.
And now we have Jana Locklear and Carol Jones of Pine Ridge Middle School, who are coaches for the school's academic challenge team, which has qualified for the state competition being held very soon on March the 7th, and they're going to tell us a bit about the team and their season so far. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us here tonight. For those of y'all that don't know, the academic challenge team, we compete in 4 rounds. The first 2 rounds are team captain can answer only, and we actually have our team captain here tonight. The second 2 rounds are Jeopardy-style buzzer questions. We love buzzer questions, but we actually thought we would be rebuilding this year, but I kind of knew at a match where they asked, name the capital city, Yellowknife, where is it located? And Hyro said Northwest Territory, and everyone's looking at me like, how in the world do they know that? And from that moment on, I kind of knew that we were going to be the ones to watch. We do go next Friday, March 7th. We're going to be leaving at 6:45 in the morning 9:15 is our first match, semifinals, which we plan to win, and then we'll play for the championship right after that. But one thing that the kids are really looking forward to, Lander's going to open up their cafeteria and let them eat all they can eat after the trophy ceremony. So we're looking forward to bringing back a trophy for Lexington 2 next Friday. And I've got to introduce my assistant coach. Her first year at Pine Ridge, she stepped up, found sponsors to get us this T-shirt, which one of our players actually designed for us, has helped nonstop, put Quizlets together for our students to practice with. So I'll name the students that are not here, and then I'll let my three introduce themselves. We have Ricardo Alvarez Vargas, who is 7th grade, Kayla Castillo Estrada, 8th grade, Elias Gambino Calixto, 8th grade, Cairo Glover, 7th grade, Lucas Price, 7th grade, Lucas Shumpert, 8th grade, Natalie Singleton, 7th grade, Kai Turner, 8th grade, and Tyler Williams, 7th grade. And let's let our captain go first.
Hello, my name is Pri Patel and I'm in 8th grade.
She is quiet, but she knows what she's doing.
Hi, my name is Ellie Self and I'm in 8th grade.
And Ellie, when we went to a tiebreaker, the students actually said, put Ellie in. She's going to bring the win home for us, and she did. And last but not least, the other coaches nicknamed him the little man.
Hi, my name is Jairo Moscoso Ortega, and I'm in 7th grade.
So thank you so much for honoring us, and have a good evening, please.
Thank you. We are thrilled to share that Airport High School Principal Matt Shillett has been named the South Carolina Council for Exceptional Children Principal of the Year. He is being... Mr. Shillett is being recognized at an awards luncheon tomorrow, February 28th in Greenville, South Carolina. And Airport High School teacher Shauna Gardner, she's with us tonight? Yep. Is among a group who nominated him for the award, and she's now going to talk with us about his work at Airport. Thank you for being here.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Good evening. Mr. Shillett is truly deserving of this award because of his unwavering commitment to all students and his exceptional leadership within our school community. He consistently goes out of his way to ensure that every student feels valued and supported, particularly those with disabilities. I have showed up in his office many of times. His dedication to inclusion means that all students have access to the same opportunities, and he actively engages with them to make sure their voices are heard. Beyond his advocacy, he leads by example, always offering a kind word, showing genuine interest in student success, and fostering a positive and welcoming environment. His impact is not only felt in the classroom, but throughout the entire school, which makes working for him so enjoyable.
I definitely can't top that. Thank you, Shauna and Airport High and whoever else is included in that. Dr. Hafner, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I believe that we all have defining moments in our career, and this is definitely one for me. Certainly proud to represent Airport, proud to represent Lexington 2. Anyone that knows me knows that if I could pick any award, this particular one, it would be special to me. So personally and professionally, this is about the top for me. I'm really excited about it. And I just appreciate the recognition. So go Eagles, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Much deserved. Thank you, Mr. Shillett. We also have Philip Rabin, our Coordinator of Employee Capacity, is going to introduce us to one of the finalists for the SCASCD Induction Teacher of the Year, who happens to be a teacher here in Lexington, too, at Casey Elementary.
That's right. Thank you, Dr. Havner and School Board. A couple years ago, we started a Rookie Teacher of the Year award with our induction program, and we were honored last year to have top 5 finalists and Ms. Kendall Branton from Fulmer represent us for this state award for the Induction Teacher of the Year. And this year, we are honored to have 4th grade teacher, launch teacher from Casey Elementary, Ms. Brooke Hyatt, to represent our district. She's our Rookie Teacher of the Year this year for us, and then she'll be competing for the state award this week.
feel super blessed to be able to be a finalist. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have made it this far when I originally applied for the grant to be able to make the garden at Casey Elementary. I thought it was like, oh, I'll get it. If I get it, if I don't, I don't, and it's okay. But it's been wonderful to see my students be excited about learning and knowing more about healthy food and what we can do with healthy food. And a part of that grant was to be able to collaborate with others and give back to the community. And recently we were able to do that by going over to the Innovation Center, and CC Parker was able to help us create some carrot cake pops out of carrots that we got out of our garden. And they passed them out in the car rider line after school, and we kind of gave them out around school as well, and they really enjoyed that. And I was very thankful for that because last fall I made sweet potato pies, 16 of them by myself. So that was wonderful to have some help. But I felt so supported by Casey Elementary and Lexington 2 throughout this journey, and I hope to win next week. Thank you.
Okay, and I would like to now go off script just a little bit. Yesterday, in a surprise visit from the South Carolina Association of School Administrators, Dr. Angela Cooper was named the 2025 South Carolina Personnel Administrator of the Year. Dr. Quincy Moore with SCASA is quoted as saying, "We are thrilled to name Dr. Angela Cooper the 2025 South Carolina Personnel Administrator of the Year. Her innovative approach to addressing the teacher shortage and her commitment to developing the next generation of educators has made a significant impact in Lexington 2. We are proud to recognize Dr. Cooper's efforts with this award, and I could not agree more. So thank you for what you do for us. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for everyone that I work with, my fellow cabinet members and all of my colleagues. I just appreciate the opportunity, and it's a calling. So,
It is.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Cooper's so focused on her professional side. She's standing up here, not knowing what's going on. We walk in this door, and it's 4 or 5 of us walk in, and her husband's in the back of the line with balloons, flowers, and she does not even see them until after the presentation. She's presenting, and then all of a sudden she turns to walk away and realizes her husband's there. But that's how focused she is on education. So we thank you, Angela. All right, and I think Santana said there's no public participation signed in, so we're going to move on to the next one. Will bring us to the superintendent report. I'll turn it back over to Dr. Hafner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to touch on career and technology education one more time. The career and technology education team was able to join me at Chamber this past Tuesday, where we spoke briefly about our pathways, but most importantly about the opportunity to partner with our schools and students as advisors, work-based learning partners, apprenticeships, or job shadowing experiences. And we put these cards at each of the tables in Chamber, and there were about 120 people there. Attorney General Alan Wilson was speaking. And on the back was an opportunity to discover the pathways that we offer at the Innovation Center, but also a QR code where business and industry could register to partner with us. And we're really trying to focus on that this school year to build those partnerships. So we're hoping that will give us some great leads to follow up on. And if anyone in the room is also a business and industry leader and would like to connect with us, these cards are on the table outside when you exit tonight. So just feel free to pick one up and take a look. We'd love to have you participate with us. As Mrs. Baker and Mrs. Coleman shared, we have several students that were highlighted for completer and certification status. But also, many of our graduates from last year were also double completers. Several of our students are currently employed at Tesla, Michelin, Southeastern Truck Company, Zeus, several fire departments across the area. Culinary students gained employment at their colleges and universities and even the military. Many students went into one of the armed forces utilizing those credentials earned here with us and will further their training and education with the military in that track. And in addition, many students entered post-secondary schools to major in the areas they have studied with the hopes of accelerating their workforce placement when they graduate, like we heard here from some of our students. So we look forward to the class of 2025, and anticipate even higher numbers as we grow enrollment and grow completer participation. So just want to make a note on that. In addition, We have some special guests here tonight. The board may remember one or two meetings in the fall and in January, we shared with you a new learning and professional growth platform that we were going to start this semester. And we previously have had Lex 2 leads, but recently tweaked our approach. That's during the summer with our school administrators. We survey and find out what their needs are. So we're building on that in professional development. And then last year, we also began Lex 2 Learns, where we had professional development right before school started with all of our employees. And that was built upon survey wishes and needs within the professional development realm. And it was led by many of our master teachers, our human resources department, and different folks on our instructional team, and that was very successful. But the latest platform on our quest for professional growth is Lex 2 Grows, and I think that Mr. LeBlanc is going to put that, yep. That's just a participant guide that we shared with them when we started the program. And the purpose behind Lex 2 Grows is to support staff members who wish to deepen and broaden their understanding of leadership in our district. Individuals applied last November and were accepted and notified in December if they were selected. And as you can see on page 5, if you scroll down of the overview, topics range from goal setting to leading with purpose and intentionality, leadership etiquette, interpersonal skill development, emotional intelligence, team dynamics, and continued growth planning. Just today, in our second session, we talked about building that trust and identifying kind of who we are as a leader in our district and what that might look like. We're happy to say that we held that session just before this meeting, and I would like for you all, I was going to ask you to stand, but you've been standing this whole time, patiently awaiting. So I would love to give you a round of applause for your dedication to leadership and your willingness to grow. These are folks who are wishing to develop that professionally and with leadership skills from wherever they sit on our organizational bus. So we're very excited to see what happens with these folks as they plan their growth pattern. So thank y'all for being here with us tonight, and you're welcome to either have a seat or I know you've had a full day and you're welcome to depart, but thank you for coming. I appreciate the effort. This concludes my report. They're a great group.
All right, we're going to move along to our finance report, and we'll turn over to Ms. Strickland. Ms. Strickland, you couldn't keep a crowd here. I'll run out on you.
I don't understand.
Huh?
All it takes is finance.
Yeah, bring up finance there, Run.
All right. Good evening to everyone. Tonight I have the January 2025 financial statements. I'm going to start with the general fund revenue and expenses report. You see our total budget for revenue is the same at $124,128,542. Actual collected for the year is $62,655,600, and that is 50% of our general fund revenue budget. You'll see I did add the column on the end for the ideal. So ideally, we would want to be at 58%, but that's due to the tax collections. Our expense budget, $124,128,542. As of January 31st, we have expended $58,798,571, and that is 47% of our general fund expenditure budget. Next, I'll go to the ESSER report. Our total award amount was $22,958,337. The deadline to spend these funds was September 30th. We have we applied for late liquidation, so we have until I believe 2026 to expend these funds, but they all have to be encumbered, which ours have been encumbered. So you see we have a remaining balance of a negative $24,284, which is we've overexpended just to be sure we expend them all. Next, I have the pupil activity report. There is a decrease from December of 2024 to January 31st of 2025 of $12,698, in the fund balance for pupil activities, and you see the rationale for the larger amounts out there. And then the last one is the PAC. What we have expended as of January 31st is $52,387,320, and we have remaining $796,622. Can you see the contingency amount there? That's what I have for the January 31st financial report.
Any questions? All right, without objection, the monthly financial reports will be accepted as presented.
Okay, I have one more report, and that is our minority business enterprise procurement report. This is for July 24 through December 24. Our goal is to spend 1% for minority businesses. This period of time, we did not expend any expenses for minority businesses. We have changing our procedure and how the vendors are sending in their reports, so we know if they're a vendor of minority or not. So our goal again is to increase that percentage over the next 6 months. And this is a goal, this is not a requirement.
Mr. Chair. In our procurement, I know we don't have a ton of procurements, but when we have them, can we not have some that are set aside so that we feel confident that we can meet this goal?
Yes, we can try to do that, yes.
And even, in the world of procurement, the prime doesn't have to be minority status. We can just request that they use at least 5% of 8A or women-owned or SDVOSB or whatever, so that we can guarantee that those contractors go out and they do that work of pulling in subcontractors that meet those minority status.
We can work on that. Today was our last day having our current procurement director.
Okay.
So we are in the process of interviewing and hiring a new one. So when that person gets in place, we can, focus on this.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Strickland? All right. We're going to move along to our human resources, to our illustrious Dr. Cooper.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Mr. Chair, board members, call Ms. Stephanie Hucks, our Director of Human Resources, to the podium. It is at this time of the year where we give you our annual spring report. Most of it focuses on recruiting, our efforts into this year. We will remind you of some data from last fall, where we presented our annual report to the board with regard to some performance objectives regarding retention of teachers and administrators in particular. And after that, we'll give an update on our vacancy report. So Ms. Hucks, when you're ready, you can take it away.
Okay, Mr. Chair, board members, Dr. Hafner, I'm pleased to present the annual spring report from the Human Resources Department. Tonight, we'll review the Human Resources mission, vision, and performance goals, as well as Lexington II priorities. We will also examine statewide data trends and compare them to Lexington II. Additionally, I will provide an overview of our recruiting efforts and the support systems that we have in place to retain our educators. Our mission and vision in human resources remains clear: to recruit, retain, and develop the best employees while showcasing their talents that inspire everyone to achieve their personal best, ultimately making a difference in the lives of our Lexington II students. Our performance goal focuses on reducing the percentage of teachers and administrators leaving the district, aligning with the Lexington II priority of recruiting and retaining top talent. So looking at the teacher vacancies across South Carolina, the state saw a 35% decrease compared to the previous year, according to the South Carolina Annual Educator Supply and Demand Report for 24-25. Regarding certified educator departures, South Carolina districts reported a 13% decrease, and of those who left, 19% were retirees, 27% transferred from another South Carolina public school district. This chart captures key data pieces from the South Carolina Annual Report. It includes overall teacher departures, including transfers to another district, and includes the retirees across the state. So let's take a closer look at the Lexington 2 data. These are our teacher departures from 24-25. We had a total of 667 teachers. 41 left for another district or a lateral move. 38 moved for personal reasons, either a spouse relocation or just moved. A breach of contract or termination, there were 7, and we had 11 retirees, and we certainly want to extend our gratitude for their service. This gives us an attrition rate of 14.5%. Our administrative departures were slightly higher this year. Our total administrators are 45. We had 3 leave the district for a lateral move for another district, 1 termination, and 5 retirees. So as it relates to our Lexington 2 performance goal in the district's strategic plan, you can see we continue to decrease the percent of teachers leaving the district. This gives us an overall departure rate for all other districts at 6.6%. You can see that's slightly lower than last year at 6.5. And as I mentioned earlier, the administrative numbers were slightly higher this year. So recruiting does remain staffing shortages. A key focus in HR is growing our own. So this year we hosted 2 informational sessions for Lexington 2 community members and our support staff, where we had over 80 individuals who signed up to explore those different pathways of becoming a teacher. Nearly half of those were Lexington 2 support staff. So our efforts are not just about recruiting, but it's also about retaining and developing our own educators. We continue to enhance our support systems and invest in our employees, just as Dr. Hafner said earlier and mentioned our Lex 2 Grows group that was here. This is a combination of collaboration with instruction and the Human Resources Department. We know that
they help us find folks to support our CTE programs. And we also gave you some data sets tonight to review. Your ABC report at the back page, the last page of that is for this month, our DRA score. So this gives you some idea of where our kids are reading in those early grades. And so you can sort of see how we track that progress for our kindergarten, first and second grade students. So that gives you a breakdown. It sort of shows you how we're looking, the work that we know we still need to do in those early grades with reading, but I wanted you to have access to that tonight. Also, in the January workshop, we provided you with some MAP data. At that time was still projection because we were still collecting some final scores, but we also, I believe tonight, have given you some additional MAP information to look at. And just for your information, I think we do want to celebrate that we're seeing some good gains in some areas. For example, when we look at those scores in general, we're finding that our kids are making progress in math this year, which was something that had sort of fallen flat for the last few years, but we're seeing some good improvement there between that fall administration of MAP and spring, which means the kids are picking up what they should be learning. We also saw that we had some above average growth in both math and ELA in our 8th graders, which means that even on the opposite end of that MAP assessment scale, we're seeing some progress there as well. Riverbank was one of our highest growth schools between the fall and spring administration, particularly in the area of math. They did some really nice work with goal setting there to really highlight and encourage kids and the teachers, and everyone has done a really nice job there with that. Followed closely by Springdale. So Springdale was right on their heels in terms of that overall growth piece. Springdale continues to perform above average in both ELA and math, so we're seeing good results there. And just a little shout out to our 4th grade ELA at Wood Elementary for having the highest amount of growth in the district in a single grade level subject. So lots of things to be excited about. We still see that there's some slides on the opposite side. So we're working with schools to develop some plans to address that. And sometimes that happens that maybe a student is growing faster than what they should, or maybe their growth just wasn't quite where it needed to be. And so sometimes those things do yield differing results. So we've given you that. If you have questions, make sure you ask us. We want to explain that as best we can to you, but we want to make sure that you have access to those data sets with regard to looking at that early reading piece, but also looking at our growth progress that we're making over the course of the year. Tonight, in my additional report pieces, we have one course request for you to consider approving tonight. As we continue to scrub our courses, we're checking every single individual transcript. We're looking very closely at state information, but also we're looking at those opportunity gaps for us as a district. And one of the ones that we found was we offer a course called Special Olympics, and it is basically a PE class where students at our high schools are working with students with disabilities, and this gives them an opportunity to do some buddy pairing and sharing. And our students need to get the proper sequence of courses. And you see here tonight, we're requesting that you approve a local board approved course called Special Olympics 5, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We already have the others because this allows students to potentially take this course multiple times in the same year for multiple years. And so we have to be able to have that all the way across the course approval spectrum. And I'm going to ask Dr. Burgraff if I think I'm explaining that to you correctly tonight. This is one of those we're still trying to make sure we give them all the credits that we can give them in these innovative areas. So that's our request tonight, is for you to consider approving this.
Dr. McDonald,
Yes, ma'am.
will you repeat, you want it Special Olympics course 5, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8?
5, 6, 7, and 8.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right.
I need to learn my Roman numerals, I guess.
I was getting a little confused the way
Ms. Wise, what grade is that in math?
you said both, and I was like, okay, I just need to get some clarification. Mr. Chairman, make a motion that we approve the request for addition of a Special Olympics course 5, 6, 7, 8.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on anything? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion carries.
And if you get the chance to visit those courses, I would encourage you. It's really a rewarding experience. Our high school students do a great job working with their peers in these classes. So thank you very much for that. The second item I have for you tonight is just for information. We are, homeschool associations are required to report annually the number of students to a district that they have who should have been enrolled in a public school. And so tonight we're giving you the report that we have. As you look at page 2 of that, you may see some increases. One of the explanations we have right now, that we're of course picking this apart, looking at why these kids are leaving, where they came from, different things of that nature, and we'll continue to dissect that information now that we have all of those reports. It could be that the reason there is such a gap or growth between 23-24 and 24-25 is that some of these associations may not have reported in time by the time you all received it last year. So that could be, but we're going to look at all of that information very closely to, again, as we constantly are looking at where kids are coming and going to and from in our district to better understand that narrative. We'll continue to look at that, but we're presenting this to you tonight just for information purposes. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on along to operations. Turn over to Mr. Wolf.
Mr. Chair, sorry, I
had a
had some
question. I'm
questions.
sorry.
Yeah. A couple questions. First one on the homeschool report. I appreciate y'all looking into seeing why that 7th grade cohort has such a massive swing compared to everything else. So hopefully we can get an update on that in the next meeting to see if there's any data that's shown through. And then I'm sorry that everybody can't see what I'm about to ask, but on this DRA levels, each little box, does that equal the student count? So like if I pick Casey and go to number 2, first grade, does that mean there are 6 students that scored A2?
Yes, I'm going to get Dr. Burgraff to answer that, but yes.
Yes. So it is the student count. The DRA window is currently open through the end of February.
Gotcha.
So that is in progress data, which is why some of those lines, we have
That's
way
what
more kindergartners than that.
Summing didn't add up.
Correct.
That's what I was, okay,
Yes,
cool.
it is a student count. And then once the window closes and we have all of the data, we can give you a final report. But that is
Perfect.
as of Wednesday.
The only other thing for DRA is down on the bottom it says K through 2, but we're testing 3rd graders. Why is that?
It says, yes, it should be through 3rd.
It says K through 2, but that's
K3.
K through 3, that works. And then, Dr. McDonald, you mentioned that we had MAP score updates. I don't see it in here.
Oh, did we not get that? We will get that to you. You will send that to you guys. We have to.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. Thank you, Dr. Burgraff.
All right, any others? Now, we're going to go back to you, Mr. Warren.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Hafner. Excited once again to provide you an operations update from the operations division for February. I told you last time that we'd provide an update from the winter, but this one wouldn't be quite as lengthy. Well, I was incorrect, because our team's been hard at work, just this month. So lots of updates here. I won't go through all of them. You have it provided to you in your packet and on board docs. Just hitting a few highlights. Safety and security, our new radios are fully functional in all of our schools, and we rolled those out completely. So excited to have that project complete for our district. Also, I'm currently serving on the Department of Transportation's Safe Streets for All program. It's an initiative by the U.S. DOT for improving and identifying safety projects across the county. And so I've already gotten feedback from our schools. Our principals provided some good feedback about just their areas, things that they've seen, things that could be improved. It could be signage, it could be, additional turn lanes, it could be, traffic lights. And so they provided me some good feedback that we provided to that committee as they look at ways to improve safety in our area. Facilities and maintenance, things continue to roll there. Just a few highlights. HVAC controls have been installed at airport. We replaced the fire alarm system at the maintenance department. We've done some intense renovations at New Bridge with gutting and upfitting 2 classrooms, of paint cabinets, and new flooring. Also, work continues on the Brooklyn Casey High dance room project. Was out there again today and really trending towards substantial completion at the end of this month to bring that online and have our students and staff able to access that new space. Very excited about that and look forward to having you out there when it's completed. Transportation, nobody recruits, well, outside of Dr. Cooper, nobody recruits as well as transportation, and they're rolling out their recruitment for back in February, advertising, recruiting. We'll run that through August, trying to continue to attract and retain, quality staff for our transportation department. Technology, department continues to roll. We have RFPs out for activity bus Wi-Fi, just something we're looking at doing for our activity buses, really focusing on students that have long athletic trips, being able to access their schoolwork, from the bus, either to the contest and also back to their school, from the contest to stay on top of their assignments. Access points, network switches, also cameras and door access continues to be a focus for Mr. Hauser and his team. Student support services, continuing to update forms yearly. You have to look at those forms, your affidavits, your residency forms, and make sure they're up to date and in line with, what they need to be. So Mr. Chapman and his team continues to work on that. Also, our school nurses updating our AED information, something they're looking at, doing an audit throughout the district, preparing a needs assessment for next school year. Nurse Barfield leading that charge, and thankful for her leadership. And then in athletics, just providing an update, in that arena. Just once again, hitting a few highlights, a lot here for you to look at it and review, but our former boys basketball team made it to the championship in the middle school bracket, lost a hard-fought game. Very proud of their work. We had an all-state wrestler, Bryant Cherry, at Airport High School this year. BC High boys basketball team, a great run this season, finished with an 18-8 record, 11-3 in the region. That region win total was a school record, so excited about what they did this year. Pine Ridge, moving to our more middle schools. This year they showcased a cheer pep squad. Coach Chastity Johnson really got some good feedback, from them and the enthusiasm they brought to their school this year. Also, Dr. McDonald, if it's okay with you, I may annex into operations the Pine Ridge Academic Challenge team. If that's okay, I'm gonna bring them into operations because they obviously very very successful in that arena as well. Northside, talking to Coach Pumphrey there, very competitive basketball seasons, really worked hard and improved this year. And then moving down to Busby, the archery team actually competed in the state championship today and had a good showing there at the state championship. And you see first place finishes, second place finishes. Just very proud of I saw actually one of the BC students is wearing archery shirt today. So proud of their work as always. So any questions?
Plus Wi-Fi, what kind of cost are we looking at there?
I don't know if we've gotten those. Is Mr. Hauser in here? Hasn't come in yet. I mean, I would make a guess. I would think $15,000 to $20,000. Mr. Hauser, that kind of a ballpark? In that area.
So in the world of Wi-Fi connectivity, the technology changes every year. My concern is that we spend $10,000+ on one bus or several buses when one or two hotspots that could be dedicated and carry a much cheaper cost and could be upgraded. I'm sure we have a contract with a wireless provider. So getting a hotspot to that would be way cheaper and would be able to, it's like a lease that we could keep up with the changing technology as we go to 4G, 5G, 6. I'm concerned that we're gonna spend $15,000 on a overpriced thing that doesn't get used much and will be out of commission within probably 18 to 24 months, just based off my experience with it.
Yeah, I mean, we can evaluate that method of providing that service. I mean, we'll get the RFP in and kind of look at cost and, you know, obviously not committing to anything with an RFP, but we'll look at that and see if there are other avenues. We definitely explore that.
Last thing is the student body presidents dropped us a little letter about the sports pass. I was ignorant. I didn't know that students even had to pay to go to athletic competitions and whatnot. Obviously, if it's state or something of that. I would love to see if maybe by next go-round we could have some type of report or idea that the administration wants to do with this. I think it's a genius idea. Whatever we can do to get more kids, kind of like they pointed out here, cheering on their peers and being safe and in a good environment versus somewhere else. I love the idea. So kudos to both of those student bodies.
We did receive that as well. We'll review that and provide some follow-up.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
And along them lines, Matt, does the airport still have the B-27 club going? Okay. That was a club in the past where, as long as you maintain a B average for 27 weeks, all students could go to athletic events for free. So that was pretty good at the time. All right, any other questions for Mr. Warren?
Also, just want to note, you also have your CPIF progress update in your packet as well. So it kind of gives you an update on what we've completed, Mr. McPherson and his team, and then what's to be D. You know, the green is what is done, the yellow is in process, and then just a few things down towards the bottom that we're still close to attacking.
Okay.
I did not realize we were purchasing a whole new scoreboard for Brooklyn Casey. There were no parts we could do to keep the old one and use?
We looked at that, some repair. I mean, it just, to make sure we had substantial life on it, you know, that board did have some age on it, and getting the right parts, the maintenance on it, the upkeep on it. We did evaluate that and felt like it was right to replace it. And actually, that's planned to be installed March 6th currently, pending any kind of changes. So we're getting close to seeing that board go up.
And why is that one more expensive than the one over at Airport? Is it different or just the area? One was 300 and one was 200, looked like.
I don't believe there was substantial cost difference in them. I mean, my understanding, you know, this was, you know, Mr. McPherson can help me. I think there was some CPI funding allotted a couple years ago for the board that wasn't spent. So then we just supplemented that with some more funding. So I don't think there was a substantial cost.
Because I know they put a lot, I hate that they can't use it because I know Brooklyn Casey put a lot of their funds into that scoreboard to begin with. So I just hate to see that being lost. Well, all right, thank you.
The old scoreboards are 20 millimeter, and they've obsoleted those. So the 6 panels we've been trying to buy for like 6 months, we can't even buy a panel to put in the old one. So that technology is obsolete. The new one went in 10 millimeter, so that's it. And then the pricing is really close. If you look at the actual price of the scoreboard install and stuff like that, we had to do a little more structural work to the frame at DC High School versus Airport, but overall, it's pretty close.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Ms.
my
Burkett?
question was actually the same thing. It's not terribly close. It's $100,000 difference, according to this.
Well, with this, this was the budgeted money through this CPIF funding. There was also some money for airports in a previous CPIF approved budget. So this was just to supplement that money, so the actual cost was very similar. It's just the money that, we budgeted some more money for it this year because enough wasn't budgeted in a previous year. I'm stating that correctly, right?
So is $300,000 about the cost we're looking at for each one of them?
I think it's right around
350.
Okay,
We can get that information.
Yeah, we're happy to provide that. Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank you very much.
Any others? All right. We're going to move along to new business. Under new business, we've got consideration of first reading of proposed revisions and board policies, BDB board officers, BEDB board agenda, and BEDH public participation.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the first reading of board policies BDB, BEDB, and BEDH.
Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a second. Any discussion? All right. Mr. Ox, hit it again. There you go.
I'm just trying to understand, you know, the intent of these. The first one doesn't seem, you know, like there's really anything but some wording, but what worries me a little bit, I just got back from a school board conference, which I was required to go to as a new school board member, and I learned a lot, but also I learned that there's a lot more to it than maybe I thought so from a legal, regulatory, you know, reporting environment. And it just seems like the intent on at least the second one is to take the superintendent out, more out of setting the agenda, and that just scares me. So, that's my comments.
Any other discussion on anything? All right. Hearing no discussion, we got a motion and a second. We'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye.
Aye.
No. Okay. 4-2. All right, Nick. 2-4, I'm sorry. Keep getting that. All right. Next one is consideration of 7 student travel requests.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the 7 student travel request as presented on the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. And under C, we have consideration of 3 staff travel requests.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the 3 requests for staff travel.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Brings us to our announcements. On March 14th is a full day of school previously scheduled as an early release day. March 14th is the end of the third 9 weeks. And then March 17th will be a in-person weather makeup day. March 20th, that dreaded day when the report cards go home. Oh, Lordy, I hated them days. March 20th, Heroes and Heroines reception in the PAC Center at 5:30. And then immediately following that, at 6 o'clock on March 20th, be our regular monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees in the District Education Center at 6 p.m. And now we will move for executive session. I believe Ms. Wooten has a motion for us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Key. I make a motion that the Board of Trustees enter executive
right, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wooten.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the meeting be reconvened in open session and the appropriate affidavit executed.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Second, Morris. All right, without objection, we're back in open session. No votes were taken during executive session. Are there any motions to put forth before the board as a result of a discussion from executive session?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the administration's personnel appointments and resignations.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the administration's recommendation for candidate A for the administration job at the district office.
Any discussion?
Second.
There we go. All right, being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the contract for real estate representation as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.